Hello and welcome everyone. In this video tutorial, we will discuss how we can work with MySQL or MariaDB database with the help of Python. So we will start off this video by discussing how we can use either MySQL or MariaDB database, and then we will also understand the steps to set up a connectivity between MySQL and Python. So without any further delay, let's start with the topic. Now basically, Python is such a versatile programming language that can be utilized with variety of different databases, and one such popular database is MySQL. MySQL is a freely available relational database management system. It also stores data in tables with rows and columns just like other relational databases do. Now SQL or structured query language is a language that allows users to define, manipulate, control and query data, and the word SQL are combined to form the name MySQL, which was created by Michael Venius. So let us understand how to get started with MySQL in Python and also discuss how to set up a database connectivity between the MySQL server and Python. So first, what I need to do, I need to download MySQL. Now here I have opened my browser and I will simply search for download MySQL for Windows because I want to download for Windows operating system, and I will open the very first link, and from here I can easily download the installer for MySQL. Now what I have done, I have already downloaded it, and here you can see it is already there in my downloads directory. So I will double click to run this installer. Now here you can see this installer window is open. Now here first we need to choose the setup type. So I want to install the developer default. So I have selected that option and I will simply click on next. Next it will ask for the directory location. I will keep it as it is and simply click on next. Then again click on next. So what is happening here, it is asking me for one dependency. For this instance I will neglect this dependency and simply click on next. So once we install these MySQL, these are the different components which will be installed in our system. So I will click on execute and it will start the installation of each component. So once all this installation part has been completed, simply click on next and again click on next, and here you can see the type and network configuration. So our configuration type is development computer. The port number on which MySQL will run is 3306. This port number is same for MariaDB as well. So if you want to install MariaDB, you can also install that. And the further steps after the installation of MariaDB or MySQL will remain same. So simply click on next, again click on next. Now here we have to set up a root password from our MySQL. So I will simply set up a root password and click on next. Again simply click on next. Again click on next and simply click on execute. This will configure our MySQL instance, and with this we have completed the installation of MySQL server. Simply click on finish. So with this we have successfully installed MySQL instance in our system. The next step to configure the connectivity between the database is to install a connector. Now what is the role of this connector? This connector will act as a bridge between Python and the SQL Server instance. Now for both MariaDB and MySQL, we have to use the same connector, and the name of the connector is MySQL Connector Python. How we can install that? Let's look at that. Here you can see I have opened my Jupyter notebook. Now to install the connector, I will write pip install MySQL connector Python and then execute this cell. This will simply install this MySQL connector package in our Python standard packages. Now here you can see we have successfully installed this package. Now next let's understand how we can use this package to establish a connection between Python and MySQL. For this, what we do, we use the connect method which is there in this connector module. So let us look at this example, and with this we will understand how we can establish a connection between MySQL server. So first we have to import this package which is mysql.connector. After importing this package, we will use the connect method which is there in this connector module, and with this connect method we have to pass some parameter values. So for example, host is there. So in my case the host is localhost. Then we have to specify the username. So the username is root. I want to connect to the MySQL instance as a root user. That's why I have specified root here. Then we need to specify the password for the root. So this is the password that we have set while installation. So I set the password as root only. In your case the password might be different. So once we define the object of this connect method, we were able to establish a connection between Python and the MySQL instance. So after this, what we have done, we have printed this connection variable. Now most important thing that we need to understand is after establishing a connection, we have to perform some operations on the database. And once we are done with the operations, it is really important to close the connection. So to close the connection, we use the close method in Python. So that's why I have written. So this is the connection variable. Then I have used the dot operator and then the close method. So once I execute this cell, here you can see this connection object has been printed, and with this we are able to make a successful connection between the MySQL instance and Python. Now, just like using the connect method, there is one more method through which we can make a connection with our MySQL instance, and that is by using the MySQL connection class. So here you can see another example. The example is almost similar. What we have done, instead of using the connect method, we have used this MySQL connection class, and within this class we have specified the same parameter values, host, user and password. Then we printed the connection object and then we close the connection using the close method. So if I execute this, you can see it is return the same thing, just that in case of connect method, the object was see MySQL connection, and in case of MySQL connection, the object type is MySQL connection only. Now let us look at one more example and let's understand how we can execute queries on the database, or we can see how we can execute queries on our MySQL instance. So we have to do the same steps. First we have to import the connector library, then we have to use the connect method, or either we can use the MySQL connection class to make a connection with the instance. Then to execute any query or to execute anything on the database, we first need to create a cursor, and for that purpose we use the cursor method. So we will use the cursor method and we will define a cursor object. I have named this cursor object as cursor obj, where O is capital. Once we have created this cursor object, we use the execute method with it to execute queries on our instance. So for example, below you can see I have used this execute method to execute one query. And what is this query all about? With the help of this query, we are creating a database. So I have written create database and then the name of the database. It is just a standard SQL that I am using here. So create database Python guide. So this is the name of the database and this is the standard keywords used to define a database. And in the end, I have used the close method to close the connection with the instance. So if I execute this, and here we can see the code block has been executed successfully. Now what I will do, I will use the MySQL client to check whether the database has been created or not. So what I will do, I will open this MySQL client, and first thing this client is asking is for the password. Let me define the password and hit enter. With this I am able to log in as a root in this client shell. Then let's see if our database has been created, and to list all the database we use this command in MySQL, that is show databases, and hit enter. And from the list here we can see Python guides has been listed. So with this we have successfully made a connection with our MySQL instance, and we are also able to create a database. Now I hope with this you all understand the steps how we can get started with MySQL or either MariaDB. Now, in the case of MariaDB, we just need to install the MariaDB instance, and all the steps that we have defined in our Python program will remain same. Even the connector that we are using for MySQL will also work for MariaDB. So you can choose any of the database based upon your personal preference or based upon your requirement. Thank you so much for watching this video. We will see you in the next one.